Yup. Young lady put the Remy on the rocks with a cranberry splash and a harmless garnish in the gentleman's glass and let it gleam in the dim light. Razzmatazz and walk away to let her meditate the method in math. Like 1 plus struggling is hell and a half, but only pussy motherfuckers walk away in the path of a soul burn, sojourn, gentleman class. Even love got a limit that can get in your ass, and I don't wanna yak back and blast. I was 13 on the crime scene when they murked my man, and he died with his work in hand. What the fuck I look like giving the gutter a glimmer of glam? I'm a veteran of Vietnam. Fuck these easy bake MCs made for marketing plans, cause the God is a grown ass man. That's me doing verbal Tai Chi in a stone flow stance, and you can try to come catch my hand, but my word to serve is absurd when I do my dance. Got a pedigree from out the streets, observing from a curbside seat how they feed the beast. But the thing is, you can't be mad. My pops kept a lock on a young ox to make me man. 3 hots and a rooftop to keep we clan. Bright lights, warm water to clean these hands. But the block don't understand. Goddamn, crack flow is a commodity, a global demand. From the Shah to the sweet Sudan. One time for my people cross the water on original land. It goes.
Take these words home and think it through. 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 Or the next rhyme I write might be about you.
And call me eager to advance a circumstance of marginal means to critical mass is simple enough. Some a troubling task for a student of a study that is lacking in math. The primary lesson plan is you cannot pass. To pursue a bit of better, gotta drop the class and acquire higher learning through a personal path, so you can burn down the school and fire the staff. Revise lines of lies and expose the past. History is subject to who authored the draft. Everybody got a truth and it's theirs to have, but everything given to you ain't yours to grab. Critical thought is a curriculum and life is a lab. Better cram, each exam is worse than the last. I double study, good buddy, cause I got to pass. At this age, make the grader, they expel your ass. And you can't just walk away. Young dude, summer school ain't cool. Graduate today, and it just might be all good. I ain't rhyming to myself for the help, it's for the love of the hood. I'm saying life ain't a game for play, and if you sleep too deep, then you just might miss the day. I'm a born again hustler who found the way. No sleep, just beats and a savoir-faire. And you can play it like the words don't sway. They don't learn till the flesh get burned. Tricking off don't pay. But if you need me, yo, I'm easy to find. Anytime MCAdar.com, you can check the rhyme. Post a message on the board called The Sun Don't Shine, and I can know that you was with me at the top of my grind, and I'm gone.
Take these words home and think it through.
J Nice, SP1200, baby. Still doing beats the old-fashioned way. Pieces of 33 to 3rd. Tight. I died. Keep it bouncy, baby. Piece of 87th Street. Stony Island. South Side. Another hit for the South Side. In case y'all motherfuckers forgot.
Take these words home and think it through.
South Side keep coming, baby.
Take these words home and think it through.
Yeah, haha. Yo, this is a grown folks song, y'all. Haha, wait, yo. Young lady put the Remy on the rocks with a cranberry splash and a harmless garnish in the gentleman's glass and let it gleam in the dim light. Razzmatazz and walk away to let her meditate the method in math. Like 1 plus struggling is hell and a half, but only pussy motherfuckers walk away in the path of a soul burn, sojourn, gentleman class. Even love got a limit that can get in your ass, and I don't wanna yak back and blast. I was 13 on the crime scene when they murked my man, and he died with his work in hand. What the fuck I look like giving the gutter a glimmer of glam? I'm a veteran of Vietnam. Fuck these easy bake MCs made for marketing plans, cause the God is a grown ass man. That's me doing verbal Tai Chi in a stone flow stance, and you can try to come catch my hand, but my word lock on a young ox to make me man. 3 hots and a rooftop to keep we clan. Bright lights, warm water to clean these hands. But the block don't understand. Goddamn, crack blowers a commodity of global demand. From the Shah to the sweet Sudan. One time for my people cross the water on original land. It goes.
Take these words home and think it through. 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 Or the next rhyme I write might be about you.
And call me eager to advance a circumstance of marginal means to critical mass is simple enough sum. A troubling task for a student of a study that is lacking in math. The primary lesson plan is you cannot pass. To pursue a bit of better, gotta drop the class and acquire higher learning through a personal path. So you can burn down the school and fire the staff. Revise lines of lies and expose the past. History is subject to who authored the draft. Everybody got a truth and it's theirs to have, but everything given to you ain't yours to grab. Critical thought is a curriculum and life is a lab. Better cram, each exam is worse than the last. A double study, good buddy, cause I got to pass. At this age, make the grade or they expel your ass. And you can't just walk away. Young dude, summer school ain't cool. Graduate today, and it just might be all good. I ain't rhyming to myself for the help, it's for the love of the hood. I'm saying life ain't a game for play. And if you sleep too deep, then you just might miss the day. I'm a born again hustler who found the way. No sleep, just beats and a savoir-faire. And you can play it like the words don't sway. They don't learn till the flesh get burned. Tricking off don't pay. But if you need me, yo, I'm easy to find. Anytime MCAdar.com, you can check the rhyme. Post a message on the board called The Sun Don't Shine. And I can know that you was with me at the top of my grind. And I'm gone.
Take these words home and think it through.
Jay Nice. SB
Words home
1200,
and think
baby.
it through.
Still doing beats the old fashioned way. Pieces of 33 to
Words home
3rd.
and think it through.
Tight. I died. Keep it bouncing,
These
baby.
words home and think it through.
Peace to 87th Street. Stony Island. South Side. Another hit for the South Side. In case y'all motherfuckers forgot.
Take these words home and think it through.
South Side keep coming, baby.
Take these words home and think it through.
Hello everyone, my name's Dean. Let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is April 13th, 2023. Okay, before we get started today, I have something to say. It's really important. You guys know I do not shill my referral links. I don't shill any membership. Join this, join that. I'm not asking for your money, your patronage, or anything like that. Nothing, not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just, I don't need to. I trade, and my income, my revenue is from my trading exclusively. But I do want to say something along those lines. As a crypto YouTuber, please do know that I do get offers almost weekly from the different exchanges. There's many exchanges in cryptocurrency, and they're always looking for new partnerships. And so I get offers to shill this or that service to my to my listeners, to my subscribers for payment, either a referral or sometimes even salary. Okay, and I always refuse because I don't necessarily think that's in anybody's best interest. Copy trading is a big thing. Especially as a TA guy, they say, why don't you just have your people copy trade you? I don't think that's going to help anybody. So I always refuse. But lately, I still haven't accepted, but I'm telling you that an exchange that I've used recently has let me down I'm really disappointed. okay, Femex, I don't know how you say it. Just this morning, I got an announcement that they were delisting some contract trading accounts, okay? Some contract trading pairs, rather. About 6, not that many, but one of my many active trades is affected, okay? MOVR, that's what we're looking at right here. And this is actually in a slight drawdown, okay? My entry's about up here somewhere. And they said, this happens, this is such as the business of exchanges. But typically they give you ample notice, right? They give you like 2 weeks and they say, okay, we're going to delist this. It's not good for business or whatever. It's too risky. And, you have 2 weeks to close the position or whatever. They literally gave me 20 hours. They're like, in 20 hours, this is going to auto close. I'm like, that is absolute bullshit. This morning, that's part of the reason that today I'm starting a little later. I was talking to my rep, and I'm like, what the hell is this? You guys have never done this before. And so as a result, like, one of the exchanges that had been courting me is now getting my business. And I'm slowly migrating some of my positions over to BingX, okay? I'm not going to shill it too hard, but if you're interested, if you're in Femex, I don't know how you say it, just watch out. They're doing some really shady stuff right there. Closing positions, auto-closing positions, and giving your users less than 24 hours notice is shady. It's absolutely shady. There's plenty of exchanges if you're interested in margin trading, and BingX is one of them. It's a new one, and I put the referral link in the description if you're interested. If you're not, whatever. All right, let's get into it. All right, I know you're not here for my rant on how disappointed I am in Femex, but you're here for the Bitcoin update. So, in a nutshell, Bitcoin is likely headed to 40K. We said this yesterday, all right? Let's recap this analysis. It's not that difficult. And guys, I just want you to pay attention to all the different analyses and analysts that were telling you, we're going to 10K, we're going to 12K, that up in this region are saying, well, it might go up, it might go down, and it's likely that we retest 20K, 23K. Like, people are still saying that, okay? People are still saying that. It's a simple support and resistance play. You're not going to spend 3 weeks building a level of support just to all of a sudden break it. It doesn't work that way, okay? This is a significant level of support right now. Remember, 3 weeks of trading, right? Basic support and resistance. We're not going to, complicate this with, Elliott wave this and Elliott wave that. No, basic support and resistance. 3 fucking weeks of sideways trading, making a strong base. Okay, and even more important and more significant is if you zoom out even more, you understand that this level is, let's try that again. Actually, let's not do that by hand. This level is right here. Something like this. Let's move it up a little bit. Okay, your previous, again, simple support and resistance, but effective, super effective. Previous support is new resistance. Okay, now this is a quintessential RS flip. Previous support now flipped into previous resistance, now flipped into support. So if we had to go down, right, it would be to this $29,000 level, which is your new support, because you have this order block here, which has proven to be your new level of support. Okay, that's your new level of support. These 3 weeks of trading has created a level of support. You don't just break levels willy-nilly, okay? But this is it's not besides the point, but it's not exactly what we were saying. We were saying 40K. Why 40K? Many reasons. Okay, the first reason, it's roughly the technical target of this inverse head and shoulders that we have here. If you take the height of this head, superimpose it from the neckline, you get 40K thereabouts. Okay, that's number one. Okay, that's one reason why it's likely that this is our next target for Bitcoin. The second reason, if you use this impulsive wave, very clearly impulsive wave, okay, as wave 1, and then this retracement as a wave 2. Okay, this is our Elliott wave analysis right here. Not that complicated, and it's quite straightforward. I don't think it's much of a reach to say that this very nice, very textbook move up was an impulse, okay? And then you retraced. Now, any old impulse doesn't necessarily mean it's pure impulse, okay? How do we determine pure impulse? As always, I always say on this channel, pure impulse in Elliott wave theory, when regarding wave 1, like the beginning of an impulse, typically matches in time the time it takes to retrace it. So, i.e., wave 1 takes about the same time as wave 2. So this is wave 1, 5 waves up. This is wave 2, 3 waves down. If you measure the time, it's about 32 days each. So that's likely a wave 1, wave 2. How do you project wave 3 from wave 1 and wave 2? Quite simply, you take your Fibonacci extension tool, as I did, from the bottom of wave 1, retracement of wave 2, and then you target the 1618 to 2 Fibonacci extension. What do you know? The 1618 Fibonacci extension is at 37K. The 2 Fibonacci extensions at 43K. 40K is right in the middle of that, okay? So that's the second reason 40K is a likely next target. The third reason is if you look at this just in terms of where's the next resistance? Okay, you pose the question, where is the next major resistance for Bitcoin? As it breaks up into this zone, that's the question to ask, actually, because once you analyze the charts, you see that this inverse head and shoulders comprise the bulk of all resistance in the chart, okay? Once you leave this region, right, above 27K, let's say, yeah, about above 27K, you have to play the where's the resistance game, because there's not that much resistance, relatively speaking. There is, but not that much. You can also corroborate this with your VRVP, visible range volume profile. It basically shows you the horizontal volume, where the asset has been traded, right, at what prices it's been traded. And you can see a slight, ever so slight node here. I mean, you see another one here, see another one here. But again, look at the quality or the amount of trading that was done here, and then look at all of the resistance here. That's why you have to pose the question, and a serious trader poses this question. Once you break this, where the hell is the resistance? Okay, people lost their minds about how long it took us to leave this level. It was 3 weeks. It's 3 weeks. Yeah, I know. In crypto, 3 weeks is forever, but it was 3 weeks. It wasn't 3 years, okay? There's very little resistance above this level of 25K, above, let's say, above 27K. There's very little resistance in the chart, okay? So any subsequent resistance levels should be dealt with relatively quickly, okay? Relative is the operative qualifier. So if you play the resistance game, you see that this right here, this distributive M-top, right? This distributive channel is going to be where most of your resistances lie, yeah? You have an order block here, an order block here, an order block here, an order block here, an order block here. So it's going to be a little bit here and there, okay? Now, what do? If you want to take the heart of a channel, the midline of a channel, is it the 50% level? Yes and no. More accurately, you take the phi ratio, okay? So you go from the top of this channel, from the bottom of this channel to the top, which would be about here. Let's take the orthodox top here. And you would measure between the 0.5 and the 618. Okay? Did I do that right? I did that backwards, but you still get the answer. I love math. Let's see. Let's do that the right way, from the top to the bottom. That's what I meant to say. Actually, I did say that, but I did the opposite. I don't know why. All right, from the top to the bottom because you want to look at the retracement. Okay, yeah. Now I'm confusing myself. Give me 1 second to think. It was clear in my head yesterday. I'm gonna take a drink. Take a second to think. Because I'm seeing something different now. Okay, in 1 second. Let's back up. Guys, if you appreciate this being a live show, my not necessarily rehearsing all this stuff, and it's not because I'm unprepared, it's because I do this literally around the clock, so there's no such thing as being unprepared. It's just by virtue of going live, you guys can see my process. You can see exactly what I'm thinking, how I reach my conclusions, and that's the best way to learn or to grow, through my successes, through my mistakes. So this is why I think it's valuable. Okay, my point in saying, okay, so my point is this: if you take this entire channel and you represent, right, we looked and saw this order block experienced resistance here, this one experienced resistance here, this one experienced support here, a little bit of support there, a little bit of resistance there. So in aggregate, this is the line, this is the area. Okay, that's the third thing. So the fourth way to do it is just mathematically, and I think what I was doing initially is correct. I want to take, and I just did this instinctively, okay? I don't know if I can explain exactly why I'm pulling the fibs from the bottom to the top, the retracement fibs from the bottom to the top. I don't know if I can explain it, but that's what I did instinctively. I spend too much time on these charts. It comes to a point where I'm just doing and I'm not thinking. Not always great, but for the purposes of this exercise, I'm going to take it. And that gives you, if you take the Fibonacci retracement from the bottom of this range to the top of this range, you can see that the 0.5 to 0.618 Fibonacci retracement lies exactly where our pink or salmon colored rectangle lies, which is the heart of this retracement level. It's the heart of this this channel right here that may pose may sort of present some resistance to the price going through. That resistance is going to be felt in and around 40,000. Okay, those are the 4 reasons why 40K is the next target for Bitcoin. Guys, if you're getting value, please like, share, and subscribe. All right, so that's Bitcoin. This is why 40K is my next target. Doesn't mean I'm taking profit there, but that's where I can expect some longer drawn out consolidation. And what kind of consolidation? I think what you're likely going to get from the 40K region is something like this. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to do this. Wouldn't be surprised if you went to 40K and then came back down to retest or to turn 30K into support, right? Because 30K is important. 30K represents the bottom of this range, okay? This range is not just any old range. It was the distributive range that lasted 500 days, right? It lasted 500 days, and it took Bitcoin from all-time high all the way to 16K after it distributed. So, upon breaking into this, you are more likely than not going to have to retest it as support. So this is what I'm seeing. If you consider this a wave 1, wave 2, understand how Elliott wave works. When you're building a wave, when you're building an impulse, an advance, whatever you want to call it, a motive wave, you have to build with like a Russian doll, okay? So it's not just going to be wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. It is, but within wave 1, you're going to have a lot of wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5, wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. Do you understand? Like, you're going to have iterative, recursive wave degrees in each and every wave. Okay, so we see this as wave 1 and wave 2. Expect another wave 1 and wave 2. Don't be surprised. Don't think that, oh, wave 1, wave 2, maybe we're into wave 3, maybe we're not. But do expect another wave 1 and wave 2. Why? Because this is a major trend reversal. And so this wave is going to be quite large. The only way to build a large wave is to have a lot of wave 1, wave 2, wave 1, wave 2, wave 1, wave 2, and then ultimately some wave 3, wave 4, wave 5. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know how to better explain that. Do expect this to be a wave 1, wave 2. That's all I'm going to say, okay? And so, up until now, we've spent about 30 some odd days. I'm questioning this just because of the timing. I'm questioning it because of the timing. Because if that is indeed the case, that we get another wave 1, wave 2 right there, okay? And this is sort of the wave 1, wave... This is the wave 1, wave 2. Tack on however long this took for that. And I don't know if that... I feel like that just takes too long for our higher time frame analyses. Okay, let me backtrack and say I don't know. I don't know what the wave progression is going to look like. I don't know how this is going to manifest. But with a high degree of probability, I'm seeing 40K as the next target. Okay? At some point, that 30K level should be retested. Okay, look. The 30K level can be retested intra-wave, like this. Some way, somehow. Okay? It's going to have to be retested some way, somehow. Doesn't necessarily have to be with this like that. Okay? And this goes back to, my larger thesis that I do say on this channel. I'm not so much concerned with the how. The how is, I think that's a fool's errand. There's so many different combinations and permutations of wave progressions to really get bogged down into the how is, it's just, I don't know, it's not a high probability affair. I'm not going to put a lot of money on how something happens. I'm just going to focus on what. Okay, that Bitcoin is likely to go up, and it's likely to go up to this X target. That's pretty much the extent of my speculation. And then, as for how that happens, I'm going to track it. I'm going to do my best to track it as it happens. Protect against downside. That's all risk management. So that's my Bitcoin analysis, right? I'm seeing 40K for those 4 reasons that were aforementioned. Nice hash login says, let's go. For sure, let's go. This is great. This is great. Yesterday, what were we saying? We were saying that altcoins were breaking out. And guess what? Altcoins broke out. Okay? Let's really take a second to enjoy and appreciate the altcoins breaking out. Okay? Let's just look at our watch list here. Right? Lots of green. Not all green, but lots of green. Let's take a second to appreciate that. I love it. Okay? Now let's go to our altcoin chart. This is where? It's here somewhere. Okay? I pulled this up yesterday. The Total 2 chart. Okay? For those of you who may not know, Total 2 is essentially all the assets in crypto minus Bitcoin. Okay? So this is the aggregate chart of all of the altcoins, okay? All non-Bitcoin assets. So that includes Ethereum. And what do you see? You see that altcoins are just now breaking out. This is your accumulation. Call it a Wyckoff accumulation. Call it whatever you want. Call it 2 degrees of AB basing. Call it your bear market accumulation channel. It lasted about 300 days, almost exactly. And it's just now breaking out right here, as you can see. Okay? This means, graphically, using charts, that it's one of the best times to buy altcoins. In terms of buying the bottom. Okay, obviously this is the bottom of this accumulation, right? On this channel, we were accumulating altcoins here, right? Just throughout this accumulation channel, right? That's why we call it accumulation channel. You want to accumulate the asset, okay? So we're in the green. Most of us are in the green who've been doing this. But this is like your last chance to buy altcoins on the cheap. Because what happens here is you start filling imbalances, okay? For those of you who understand what that means, you know how... For those of you who understand what that means, you know just how violent imbalances can be filled. How violently imbalances can be filled. Okay, for those of you who don't understand what that means, let's look at the chart really quickly. Look at this price action. What do you see here? Pretty much nothing but red candles. It was a drawdown from this level of support, okay? So you lost this level of support and you drew down. You came down impulsively down to this level, okay? And you found some intermittent support at this level. This is why you created this wick right here, bounced, and then came all the way back down here, okay? This pretty much made your range high right here, okay? And this obviously was your range low. So your range was created right there. For 300 days, you stayed in this range. Now you're finally leaving the range. What happens when you leave a range? Typically, when you break a range, the height of the range. So if you take the height of this range and you superimpose it from the side of breakout, you can see quite simply that this is your next target up here, okay? So altcoins are likely to move about 60% in aggregate, or on average. All altcoins can move about 60% from here, okay? And they should move quickly. Why? Because of this imbalance. You should have an equal but opposite move, right? And that's the beauty of charts, and you can see this throughout nature. Nature hates imbalance, charts hate imbalance. There's imbalance here. Only sellers were involved. No buyers stepped in. Now the buyers step back in and balance the equation, okay? So that's the imbalance, and that's imbalance. When you see imbalance, you know that the opposite is coming to balance the chart, okay? So that's the move we're looking at. That's the breakout we were talking about, and we've got that breakout. Guys, if you're getting value, please like, share, and subscribe. Okay, now why are we getting this move? Why are we getting this move, and why can we expect another move in the coming minutes? Well, our market mover has moved, okay? The DXY, the US dollar currency index, is the underlying asset, the dollar, what moves all markets, crypto, NASDAQ, S&P, all risk on assets. Everything moves vis-a-vis the dollar because the dollar is the underlying asset. Even moving gold and silver, right? Because what do you use to buy gold and silver? Dollars. 60% of all the world's trade is performed using dollars. So you want to look at the dollar, what it's doing, and then once it's dumping, expect risk on assets, non-dollar assets to rise and vice versa. For the past, how long has it been? For the past 3 weeks, we've been in this channel right here. Okay, the dollar's been in this channel, going up and down and up and down, and we're finally back at the bottom of the channel. But even better, we broke the bottom of the channel, okay? And we've been talking about this for quite some time on the channel, on this YouTube channel, right? Not to get confused, because this isn't just any channel. This represents a massive breakdown of the US dollar, right? As you can see, you have a head and shoulders of monumental proportions, okay? And this shouldn't surprise you that this head and shoulders is about as lengthy in time as Bitcoin and altcoins accumulation channel at the bottom of the bear market, okay? Because these are inversely proportional, inversely correlated assets, okay? So you have the dollar breaking down from this massive 300-day head and shoulders bearish pattern, okay? And that breakdown target is, goodness gracious, what's wrong with my chart? Let's see. Okay, that breakdown target's all the way down here. And we put this in months and months and months ago, okay? And this is the power of technical analysis. It's not a crystal ball, but a lot of things are clear on the chart if you can only read them. So the channel that we've been in for the past 3 weeks breaking down not only means a breakdown of this channel right here, but it also means the precipitating breakdown, the precipitating cause for the breakdown of this larger head and shoulders, which should yield a bull market like none other in cryptocurrencies especially, right? The stock markets are in a bearish rally. They're in a bearish uptrend in my estimation. So I think the bullish effects in the stock market, in the traditional markets, will be muted, relatively muted, but not so in crypto. So if we come to the smaller time frames, let's focus now on this 21-day channel that's breaking down. What do you do upon breaking any important resistance or support? You have to retest it. We know that. So let's go actually on the hourly time frame, and we can see the bounds of this channel are well established right here, and this has been broken. Now, upon breaking, we know that it has to be retested. So let's go even on a smaller time frame, 15-minute time frame, and let's examine. And what can we see here? We're seeing that the bottom boundary of this channel is being retested as we speak. Came down, broke the support level. Now we're retesting it in 1, 2, 3 waves. Okay, what do you know about 3-wave moves? They're corrective. All 3-wave moves are corrective. Okay, it's either a 3-wave move or a flavor of 3. This is why in Elliott wave theory we talk about double 3s and triple 3s, right? You can see a 5-wave move or a 10-wave move or a 7-wave move or whatever. I think it's 5, 7, 11. I mean, you could see like an odd number usually, yeah? It's an odd number of moves, a lot of different complex corrections. It's just what we call a complex correction, and we'll break it down in pairs of 2 or pairs of, in triplets of 2 or triplets of 3. That's why we call it either a double 3 or triple 3. In any case, here you can see a simple A, B, C move retesting this broken support as resistance, and this is why we should expect a move in crypto soon to the upside, because this 3-wave move started this morning, and it seems like it's about to end any moment now because you put in the 1, 2, 3 waves. Okay, our momentum indicator on the 15-minute time frame is saying that we're overbought already, so we're looking to move down. So this is what I'm seeing, and this is why I think that you can expect a big move for Bitcoin soon. Okay, and also don't forget, markets move during the weekday, during the time that this DXY is trading. There's a big reason for that, because the DXY is the market mover. $500 billion, $500 billion, give or take, of market cap is not going to move because Michael Saylor decides to buy a few million. Okay, as great and large as a purchase of a few million of Bitcoin or 100 million of Bitcoin is, like, understand $500 billion, $500 billion, needs a $5 billion purchase or sell to move it just 1%. So if you just do the math, you understand what mainly moves crypto and Bitcoin is this underlying asset. This is why we track the DXY on this channel so seriously. This is why we don't care about the PPI, CPI, all that stuff. It's great. And it can tell you sometimes when a break will happen, when moves will happen. But the what is what we're really concerned with. The what is in the charts, and it's clear. If the DXY is in a strong downtrend, which it is, it's at the neckline of a massive breakdown, we know to be extremely bullish on risk on assets. This is why we're so bullish in crypto and over leveraged, because we understand what's coming. And you can see it reflected in the news. We don't use the news to trade, but we see the charts, these facts, right? The buying and selling patterns of the dollar, the buying and selling patterns of all these other assets be reflected in the news, okay? This is the best way to trade, in my estimation. So yeah, this breaking down is huge. This is what we're looking for. And there was one more thing I wanted to say about that. I think that's it, right? That's it. And this is why, yeah, I'm expecting this to break out, because your underlying asset is losing relative value. So these risk on assets have to break out. And this chart looks like it's about to break out, right? Put 2 and 2 together. I'm waiting for breakouts. So we looked at Bitcoin. We looked at the DXY. I wanted to make a point. Bitcoin dominance. So many analysts. So many analysts. I mean, guys, you got to keep notes. And it's your fault if you listen to people indiscriminately, right? Lots of crypto YouTubers, lots of people with big accounts saying that this was a breakout, right? They drew the same channel as me, but, people who don't have a fluency in reading charts, they're, overly dependent on, indicators. And even then, they're interpreting the indicator some way, somehow, as being bullish for Bitcoin dominance, right? So they saw this little peak up above the resistance of this 2-year channel, and they're like, the DXY is so bullish, right? But it's clearly, for anybody who has eyes, at a 2-year level of resistance, and it's likely to reject just as it has the prior 4 times in the 2-year history of this channel trading. Okay, so the Bitcoin dominance, as you can see, and what's Bitcoin dominance? It's a measure of Bitcoin's relative strength within the total cryptocurrency market cap. So Bitcoin dominance is about at 48% right now, meaning Bitcoin's value is about 48% of all of crypto. So you take all of crypto, all of the money in crypto, about half of it is Bitcoin, right? We've known that. It's been hovering at about half, but it's about to go down significantly because this channel is likely distributive, and it's likely to be proven to be an intra-wave consolidation of this larger trend. The trend is down. This is intra-wave consolidation, 2 years chopping. Now the trend resumes, okay? And this makes sense because as time progresses, there are more and more projects entering the space that are worthy of increased investment, worthy of increased attention. Serious crypto projects that, people want to invest in. So Bitcoin dominance going down just makes sense. You have to be a weird kind of sort of dogmatic maxi to think, a Bitcoin maxi to think nothing else has any value, right? That's strange and it's unintelligent. Obviously, there's a lot of value in the cryptocurrency space. We love Bitcoin. This is called the Daily Bitcoin Update. We recognize Bitcoin's value, but we're also smart enough to recognize that Bitcoin started something. And what Bitcoin started was a movement. And it laid the groundwork for many projects to follow that don't necessarily do what Bitcoin does, but Some of them do, some of them don't, right? But there are a lot of great projects that are following in Bitcoin's footsteps, not necessarily in the sense of, replicating the protocol, but doing other great useful things with the technology, with blockchain. Okay, so that's the idea. Bitcoin dominance is likely coming down, and you can see this right here. And as it comes down, that basically means the relative value of altcoins within the cryptocurrency space is increasing vis-a-vis Bitcoin. Okay, so that's all that we're seeing here. This is what the chart shows us. All right, now JY says dump the DXY. Indeed, dump it to hell. JY says get it out of here completely. Get it out of here. Get out of here. Go away. Bye-bye, DXY. Okay? It's with the DXY. If we really understand how this market works, and I don't understand how this is so confusing for people. And people love to look at all these different metrics. Some people consider the DXY, but they don't really understand just how important it is. It's literally undefeated. The correlation between Bitcoin and the DXY over 10 years is so clear. It's obvious, but I don't know. Whatever. To each his own. Or her own. A lot of bad female analysts out there too. We don't want to be sexist. Let's see. All right, let's look at our altcoins that are doing damage today, right? Finally, they're catching up, and they're doing what we invested in them to do, which is outperform Bitcoin and gain more Bitcoin, or gain against Bitcoin's value, right? Because they're lower market cap, they're more volatile. So yeah, this is what's happening. Bitcoin's up 1.5%. ADA's up 4%. Algo's up 2%. Do you see? Like Bonk, yes, Bonk is up almost 14% today. It was up like 16% yesterday. That position is doing very well. You can see throughout, like Ethereum, the king of the altcoins, up 5%, or the queen, however you want to say it. But you can see, relatively speaking, in this small sample size of a watch list that I hold, that these altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin. I just got into a Dogecoin trade this morning with my new exchange, BingX, and it's doing really well. High leverage, as I like it, but this is based off of the idea that these altcoins are now going to break out because they've been consolidating for some time. They've been putting in nice bases or nice support levels on previous resistance. They've been coming up in 5 waves, coming down in 3, right? So all of that stuff, and then when it's all said and done, you want to buy support and sell resistance, right? It's not much more complicated than that, right? You want to buy support and sell resistance. I see all of this since November of last year. All this consolidation, finally breakout. What do you do after you break significant resistance? You retest it as support. That's a buy. That's a buy. For all of those people who sold Dogecoin and thought that breakout was, fraudulent or fake, whatever, they're going to be kicking themselves if they've sold out, because this is just the beginning, okay? And that's the theme. Altcoins haven't done anything yet, for the most part. They have not yet done what they've been, what they're expected to do, right? Look, this Dogecoin as an example. 143 days. Like this, all of this up and down consolidation lasted 143 days. You finally broke it. Okay, 143 day level of resistance broken. You have to come down. Anybody who knows anything, basic support and resistance, basic technical analysis, was not surprised on this, okay? Of course, people who don't understand certain things, they usually make up stories. We did that in the past, right? people who would use science were labeled witches and magicians and so on and so forth. We always come up with a narrative to explain things because it's comfortable, okay? So people who don't know anything about technical analysis say, oh yeah, it's fake. It was because Elon pumped it and dumped it, right? Where if you look at the chart, it's obvious and it's normal and it's healthy for you to retest this broken resistance as support. And once you do that, you consolidate on that support level, which is what we're doing now for the actual pump, for the actual breakout. This is what's happening with Dogecoin. I'm starting with Dogecoin because it's the one that I got in this morning on Being X. I'm shilling more than usual, but it's because Femex really pissed me off this morning. I don't care if you use my referral in the description or you don't. Just be careful. Not your keys, not your crypto. I do a lot of leverage trading, and I can't hold the keys, but because, you know, they're contracts. And so I'm taking that risk, and I understand that I'm taking that risk. If you also are doing leverage trading, understand that the exchange can basically do whatever they want whenever they want. They can close your account. They can close your trades whenever they want. And so you have to be really careful. You have to practice good risk management, not have all of your trades on one exchange, not have all your trades in one asset, so on and so forth. Just be careful. I don't want anybody to get wrecked because they were over leveraged in one trade or on one exchange. But yeah, Femex really pissed me off with that this morning. In any case, this is what I'm looking at. All of this right here on the small time frame is consolidation on support, right? Got 3 waves up, 3 waves down. That's a first degree of consolidation. 3 waves up, 3 waves down. That's a second degree of consolidation. 5 waves up. 5 waves up, 3 waves down. That's your last degree of consolidation. This to me is my impulse. Okay? This to me is my impulse. Or something like that. I believe. It's my impulse, or at least the start of my impulse. Okay? Likely. Just because after this drawdown, I can count very clearly 3 degrees of AB basing. Okay? Let's see. 1 second. Let me see something. Yeah, I could see that. Let's see. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. I can see that. Okay? Yeah, something like that. All right. Anyway, so that's Dogecoin. That's why I'm a buyer of Doge at these levels. And I think, like many other assets, we're going to see a really strong move. The other one I was looking at very closely was this one that's going to close in a few hours. It's maybe going to close me. It may close me in at a loss, right? Just because the exchange is cheating, right? How shady is that? Once the price moves in my favor, then you want to automatically close it, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm sure I'm not the only one, because MOVR has been really difficult to trade. Look at what it's been doing. It's been making this cup and handle. The only reason I'm still in this trade is because obviously I'm on a high time frame position trade. So I'm looking at the larger pattern and waiting for a bigger move. So I'm looking at this, I'm seeing, okay, 1 degree of AB basing, 2 degrees of AB basing, that's my A wave, that's my B wave, and then a 3rd degree of AB basing here. So I'm expecting, or maybe the 3rd degree of AB basing is something like this, okay? So I'm expecting a move. Okay? So I'm still in this trade, I'm waiting for it, and, you know, forget the AB basing. This is simply some sort of cup and handle, right? This is a cup and handle with a neckline up here somewhere. So I'm expecting to at least come to the neckline do a little more consolidation and then break out, right? This is bullish to me. It's always been bullish ever since we broke this bear market resistance, retested it as support twice, right? And the exchange wants to close it prematurely with literally just when altcoins start breaking out, closing altcoin accounts. I know I don't have the largest platform in the world, but I hope people really reconsider their business with Femex as a result, because that is absolute bullshit. Like, I've never seen anything like that. That's criminal. To close somebody's trade. Like, when I lose a trade, I don't go to the exchange and complain, hey, I lost a trade. I'm sorry. Like, can we start over? Can we do it? No. They just take your money. They don't care. Okay? Now that they're losing the trade because they're about to lose the trade because it's going in my favor, they're going to close it. Absolute bullshit. Anyway, MOVR, that's bullish. A lot of them are bullish because they're in bullish market structure and they're forming these bullish patterns. And here, I'm seeing this as a type of mini flat correction, something like this, yeah? Something like this, right? 3, 3, 5. Okay. And finally, a breakout. I like that. I only have a few hours to make this a profitable trade. Let's hope that it gets into the green soon. My entry's up here somewhere. So let's see. Maybe we can do it. Maybe we can do it. All right. So that's MOVR. Guys, if you have any altcoins that you want me to look at, please place them in the chat. Cardano's been moving beautifully. So we have Cardano breaking out of a very important trend. Look at the trend. This is basic support and resistance, my friends. Take your trend line. Oh, I messed up. Let's try it again. So first your eye sees it, and then you use your tools to confirm. This is the trend. Okay? This is the trend of resistance that you've been dealing with on Cardano. All of this. Boom, resistance, resistance, resistance. And finally, you're looking at a breakout of this rising wedge. Very, very bullish, right? Obviously, all of this is a series of consolidation reversal patterns, okay? This consolidation is what makes the breakout so explosive. Understand that every cause has an effect, every effect has a cause. This is the cause, right? However long this was. Let's see. Seems like a much longer than that. 30 days. 30 days of consolidation up and to the right will yield a massive explosion. Okay, so when you look at the altcoin total 2 chart, you look at what Bitcoin's doing, you look at what the DXY is doing, these altcoins are going to explode to the upside. We've been saying that for quite some time on this channel. Hard to time it exactly, but there's a lot of things that, I mean, this has been in the making for quite some time. In addition to, let's put that back up. In addition to that resistance, you're also dealing with this orthogonal resistance right here. You're breaking 2 resistances, as you can see, right? You're breaking this orthogonal resistance of what looks like some sort of inverse head and shoulders, okay? And you're also breaking this right here, this diagonal up and to the right, rising resistance, okay? So you're finally doing it in Cardano. So don't be surprised if you wake up or you look up and some of these assets are up 100% or something like that. It's going to be absolutely insane. These are massive resistances that you're breaking in the altcoin space, okay? Same with Algorand. This is the big resistance that you're breaking here. Right here, okay? This resistance is a resistance that has lasted about 40 days, almost 40 days, okay? It's a nice cup and handle that you're looking to break. R-Weave, I'm going to turn off the momentum indicators. A lot of traders are confused because their momentum indicators are overbought and they think that a big retracement is coming. This is why we don't trade predominantly using indicators. We use indicators corroboratively. Don't be used by the indicators. Use the indicators. You can't do that if you don't know price action. Most traders don't know how to read price action. Learn how to read price action, and you will understand that in a strong trend, these bearish divergences that may form on your momentum indicators should be ignored. They should be ignored because your momentum indicators get overheated in a strong trend, whether it's up or down. That's not how you trade. That's not how you analyze in a strong trend. In a strong trend, you use support and resistance. You use other means. You don't necessarily use those momentum indicators, at least on a small time frame. On a larger time frame, perhaps. But you got to get your time frame right. It's got to be large enough to encapsulate the magnitude of the move. So R-Weave, you can see here another example of a massive resistance breaking, okay? You're at a massive resistance of another cup and handle pattern that's lasted 40 days, okay? That's just now breaking, okay? This is why it's criminal for any exchange to, unilaterally just force close any altcoin positions, because we've literally been waiting for these positions to move for hundreds of days, and now they want to close them. Like, absolutely crazy. Like, I still have a lot of positions, a lot of capital on FEMAX, but I'm not putting any new ones on. All my new positions are going to be on BingX, and I'm going to take profit off that exchange. It's absolute bullshit. All right, basic attention token. What are you looking at? What are you looking at? Here's the resistance I'm looking to break most imminently. This one, okay? It's not the biggest resistance, but it is a week-long resistance, okay? That you're breaking to the upside. This is a type of bull flag, right? It's an impulse and then a correction down. It is kind of a bull flag, but it's not. No, I don't want to call it a bull flag. No, because it's not a zigzag. I don't want to call it a bull flag. All this is a right shoulder of this head and shoulders. Whoops. This is an ugly right shoulder, but this is your left shoulder, this is your head, this is your right shoulder, okay? In your right shoulder, you can see 3 waves up, 3 waves down, and then a zigzag down. So 3 waves down, but it's an impulse, right? It's a zigzag. So ABC or WXY, whatever you want to call it, then a little consolidation at this base level right here for your breakout. But essentially, you're in your right shoulder and you're coming back up to this resistance, and then you're looking to break out of this larger move, okay? So going back to the idea that we're not so concerned with the how. If you look at the how, you're going to say, oh, this breakout is going to happen in approximately, this many days or this many hours. It's going to take approximately that long. It's so challenging to do that. And it's not that, it's helpful, obviously, but it's not that useful in the scheme of things. What's important is that you get the main retracements, you read the main retracements and, the main support, main resistances, so you're able to stay in a position, not get drawn down too much on, and when it does break out, you're there. You're exposed. That's the idea. So I will say, although I'm not exactly sure how it's going to happen or how fast it's going to happen, I know typically, theoretically, these breakouts happen really fast and they go really high, much higher than people think, right? Breakouts are by definition quick, impulsive, they're surprising, and then you're at a new level completely, okay? Looking at Blur token, I talked about this yesterday. This is a triangle, okay? It's not actually a triangle, but it's in the shape of a triangle, in the shape of a wedge. All this consolidation, it's basically coiling up for that breakout. And this wedge, if you will, has lasted about a month, a little bit more than a month, okay? Seems like a lot longer. I know it does, because we show up every day, we do our analysis every day, so everything just seems longer. But it's just been a month, okay? Bonk, this is a very low cap, low cap, small market cap asset. And so it's that much more volatile, and it's already broken out, as you can see, from this cup and handle. Right? You can see this cup and handle pattern's already broken out over here. And so this breakout is progressing. And the next significant resistance is probably going to be up here. Okay? So you can expect it to continue up and up and up and up. Oh, I remember. I was making a point about this breakout and the timing of this breakout. So, for Bonk, you got this breakout on Wednesday. It's important that you look at that and you think about that. Like, you're not going to get veritable breakouts in the on average. Most of your breakouts are going to happen during the week because that's when the DXY trades, right? And so when Bitcoin started moving up on Monday, it was a really good sign because then we have all 5 days of the work week for that move to progress. Right now it's Thursday and we're still moving. Really great sign. We have the rest of Thursday and then all of Friday for the move not only to progress but to be completed. Okay, so when you think about the timing, I'm not going to say that, it's 100%, but it's likely that whatever breakouts you see will happen before Friday evening. Okay, and the reason that is simply because the underlying asset, the DXY, is only trading from that point. And so if it doesn't happen until before Friday afternoon at the close of business, it's not necessarily going to happen over the weekend. We know that historically, right? Like, we can track that, we can trace that, we have data corroborating that fact, okay? So that means basically what we're trying to say is that we can expect the DXY to break down from this channel, to start to break down from this channel, right? After this retest, before Friday afternoon, okay? So between now and Friday afternoon, not only break down, but also for Bitcoin and altcoins to respond to that in an uptrend, right? Probably targeting 40K and altcoins doing whatever they have to do between now and Friday afternoon. Okay, so that was Bonk. Yeah. Dent. Okay, as you can see, once again, you are at the neckline of a massive pattern here. And, what's really important is you understand the bullishness can be seen from the chart, right? Where you're making lower or higher lows, right? Yet and still, the resistance is holding. That means the fair value of this asset, the amplitude or the range of that people are willing to value this asset is getting smaller and smaller as time progresses, right? From March 10th until present day, people are like, yeah, Dent, I'll sell it to you for, 0.000813 cents. And then in April, they're like, I'm not selling it any less than 0.001 cents, right? Because progressively, it's gotten more valuable. That's basically what this chart pattern is telling you. And, a lot of people read this as bullish consolidation because it's lower or higher lows, right? And it's a coiling up. And that typically yields a really violent breakup or breakout, So that's where we are with Dent. You can see we're right at the neckline. Dodo, same thing. You have higher lows right here in a channel that is comprised of a series of consolidations. So you're looking for that breakout, and that breakout basically yields this cup and handle pattern right here, right? Or a W reversal pattern, whatever you want to call it. Dogecoin, we saw, okay, we looked at. But just to recap really quickly, this Wu-Tang signal, this W right here, is a reversal pattern on major support, right? So since you're here, what you're looking for, and I took this on really high leverage on BingX because there's no 100% trade, but with a high degree of probability, this W stays, and any retracement is at most going to retest the neckline of this W. So hiding my stops down here, my liquidation points down here, to me seems like a really high probability trade, right? I'm just betting on Dogecoin to go up from here and not come down much from here. Okay, so that's the trade that I took this morning. Polkadot. Again, you see subsequent higher lows and an even resistance. This is a powder keg of explosive price action building, okay? And the powder keg is the fact that the resistance doesn't change, yet the fair value, the fair value increases. Like the fair value range increases. People do not want to sell this asset for any lower than the previous price. Well, let me say this. The lowest that this token is valued at increases quite significantly, in a regular interval of time. So ultimately what's going to happen is basically this is showing that the relative value is increasing, and this is being accumulated. This is an accumulation triangle, if you will, for this breakout, okay? If you look at this and you want to make a really high probability trade, right? Really high probability trade, you bet on the value of this not breaking this right here. Because this triangle, this consolidation is basically saying that the value of this asset can no longer exist, unlikely to exist below this support level, this rising support level. Okay, so if you hit your stops and resistances below this level and bet on this breaking up and out, it would be a really good high probability trade. So that's Polkadot. DYDX. Okay, we have again a cup and handle. Guys, can you see the pattern? The pattern is a bunch of bullish market structures. Okay, cup and handle, bullish market structures. Essentially, it's the same thing that we're looking at. It's a relative increase of the lower value, the lower band, the lowest that an asset is valued. It's increasing. It's making higher lows while it's keeping the same resistance. So these pop out violently to the upside, okay? So that's dydx. ETH. So everybody's talking. I mean, guys, I turned on a really, really highly viewed big account yesterday that said ETH was likely to come down violently because it was, I don't know how you make the analysis, but they were using a bunch of indicators and stuff like that. Lots of followers. Like, it's your fault if you listen to garbage. Just because, there's a news station and it tells you lies and everybody watches that news station and has a lot of viewership doesn't mean it's true. Doesn't mean it's true. You have to use your own judgment, your discretion, right? When people online talk, it doesn't matter if they have a platform or not. When they talk about things that don't make sense, if you don't educate yourselves, if you don't put in work to try and figure out the basics of technical analysis, the basics of trading, then it's your fault. If there's so many people listening to that. The person was saying ETH is likely to go down for two reasons. One, because of the network update, okay, that people who heretofore have staked ETH would now be able to sell it. So there's going to be a lot of selling pressure. And two, the market structure is creating a double top. I remember them saying there's a double top. Like, there's just such trash analysis left and right. And I'm not saying that I'm always right. It's not about always being right. It's just basics. You would be surprised how many quote unquote analysts lack the basics. It's not their fault. You have to do better for yourselves. That's why you have to learn this thing. And I'm not about copy trading. I'm not about you're just, taking what I say. Do your own homework. And doing your own homework is partly watching decent analysts do their jobs and, studying, reading about it, charting, and figuring it out for yourselves. You can do it. It's not that difficult, especially the basics. Okay, here, if you're looking at ETH, this is the play. This is the simple but very effective analysis. Okay, again, you're relying on basic support and resistance, which a lot of people underestimate. Support and resistance is the basis for any system of technical analysis, right? You can get a little more intricate with Elliott wave, with Dow theory, with all that stuff, but at the end of the day, it's basic support and resistance. This is the support level of this pattern that you've been in, right? A rising wedge that you've been in for 30 days. So for 30 days, you've been holding this support. For 30 days, you've been holding this resistance. Okay, quite clearly, the play is, and this is just looking at the past 30 days of price action, right? The play is either you break this to the upside, and if you do, you want to retest it as support at some point in time before you move up, right? Because this is 30 days worth, so you know you're coming back down at least a bit, yeah? Let's see. Hold up 1 second. Let me check. Let me check something. I'm pretty sure I got this right. I set my stops somewhere. I just want to make sure that they're in the right place. Yes, they're in the right place. Okay. Yeah, so ETH is very likely to come back here. Why do we know that with a high degree of probability? Because any major level of resistance broken is always retested as support before going back. Okay, and that's just trading 101. You don't have to have a crystal ball. You don't have to be special. It's basic support and resistance, breaking it, retesting it, and then you take off. Okay, so that's what we're looking at. Had you broken it, you would have to retest it as resistance, then you come down. Okay, now why, with a high degree of probability, would we have known that the former was more likely than the latter? Well, then you zoom out a little more. Okay, this is why you don't just spend your time on the small time frames. And yeah, the hourly is a small time frame with respect to, these charts that have printed price action for months and months and months. Okay, you get a little bit of context. Okay, and the context is what? The fact that the past 300 or so days, you've been putting in this massive inverse head and shoulder, cup and handle, okay? This massive cup and handle in the context of a bear market accumulation, okay? So when you see ETH coming up and breaking this level and consolidating here, you should think, okay, if you're a Wyckoff trader, this is an SOS, a sign of strength. This is basically an accumulation, a rising accumulation at the upper resistance of my accumulation channel, okay, if you're a Wyckoff trader. If you're an Elliott wave trader, you're looking and you're reading 2 degrees of AB basing and a pivot, okay? This is how you're reading it if you're an Elliott wave trader, right? There's so many different ways to read this, but you're likely looking for bullish breakouts because of the larger context. So that's basically how you look at that. And if you're able to read price action, it's not that difficult, right? Nobody's asking when exactly is it going to break out, or, how low is it going to retrace, when it does retrace. Nobody really knows. But what we can know with a high degree of probability, like we said, is you're very likely in some way to retest this 30-day resistance in ETH. So likely to come back down to 1950 thereabouts before consolidating and going back up. Okay, so that's ETH. Let's just keep that in for now. Guys, if you're getting value, please like, share, and subscribe. Okay. H-bar. This is another one that's been tough to trade. It's just not been the most bullish asset. But here you have a clear level of support, right? This is a W pattern. This is a reversal pattern broken to the upside, right? Now you come back, retest resistance as support. You consolidate on support, and now you go up. Okay, so that's basically the play here. That is the analysis. It's that simple, all right? Obviously, when you're dealing with high leverage, when you're trying to get pinpoint precise entries, it gets a little more complicated than that. But if you're looking at this in terms of, is this bullish or bearish? What's it likely to do on the high time frame? It's very simple. It's very simple, right? Don't let anybody tell you it's impossible to figure out. It's not. High degree of probability, that's what's happening. That's what's going to happen. Okay, chain link. Here you can see once again some type of cup and handle pattern, right? And you're right now at the resistance level, about to break resistance for your breakout. So that's chain link. Nothing special. Lit entry, same thing. Here's your cup and handle once more. You're at resistance, okay? And this resistance is actually coincident with the midline of this channel, which we know any midline of any channel serves as resistance when you're below it and support when you're above it. So this is resistance right now, but we're about to break it to the upside, okay? In this particular instance, your target is the top of the channel, which is probably exactly the height of this cup and handle right here, okay? So you get to the top of the channel, you consolidate once more, and then you continue to the upside. Litecoin. So Litecoin has been putting in a massive, an absolutely massive inverse head and shoulders, okay? Look at this. Okay, that right shoulder is that rising wedge that we've seen in different assets, okay? It's a successive printing of higher lows, okay? Once again, the simple trade, straightforward trade is to bet on the price not coming below the support of this rising wedge. Because this rising wedge, other people say, oh, rising wedge, it's bearish. Look at the context. Context is everything, okay? With the context, instead of just 55% or 60% hit rate, you can get up into the 80s. Because the context dictates that this is the right shoulder and you're in a massive reversal pattern, right? And then if you zoom out more, you can see that This inverse head and shoulders, that is how long? About 55 days, is also in another it's in the context of another bullish pattern, right? Which is this larger cup and handle. Okay? Do you see? I always say this. Bullish patterns in trending markets form as smaller bullish patterns and then become larger bullish patterns, and those become larger bullish patterns, and basically you're looking at a chain reaction of bullish patterns. It's like, they're fractals, and that makes sense because all of this is just fractal from one small time frame that's imperceptible to a larger time frame that we can see and that we trade. But it starts on the nanosecond, the smallest, femtosecond, I don't even know, the smallest measure of time that we have, and then it just repeats and repeats and repeats and repeats, okay? So we can see this, and it makes sense. When you see it on a small time frame, then you see it form on a larger time frame. But in the context of everything, this is the massive bullish pattern that is about to break out in Litecoin, and you can see the height of this pattern is quite large, and it should take you to important heights. And so this breaks out, it goes here, and then that breaks out another bullish pattern, and that goes even higher, so on and so forth, okay? So it's a chain reaction of breakouts. But you can see Litecoin is at resistance. It's at the neckline of an important resistance, okay? MOVR, we talked about. I just want to point out, look at the rounded bottom, okay? Rounded bottoms, rounded tops, they designate extremities. Any rounded features designate extremities. This is a quintessential textbook cup and handle, okay? This is the resistance. You're at resistance. You consolidate. You're waiting for a breakout, okay? Let's hope that breakout comes within the next 10 hours. Those fucking crooks. I have until 4 UTC. I don't even know when that is. I have to check. Okay, Harmony 1. This is the massive cup and handle that you're about to break out of, okay? So, I mean, now, not everybody's paying attention. But for those paying attention, this is literally the best time to buy altcoins if you wanted to experience no drawdown. It's not the best time. The best time would have been at the bottom of the channel. But, you have to go through ups and downs. And people, even when they're in the money, they don't like it when the price goes against them. You know what people love is when they buy and the price just goes nuts. That's one of those times. Any purchase, like my Dogecoin purchase, the opening of my Dogecoin position this morning, essentially in the next maybe 48 hours, maybe 96 hours, not surprised if that position just skyrockets, because we're at the necklines of important bullish patterns that are on the verge of breaking out, okay? Here it's another kind of cup and handle pattern in RSR that you're looking for a breakout in. Okay, for sand, again, same thing. Massive cup and handle, about to break out to the upside. Okay, for sheep, this is this asset always cracks me up. It's just, it prints the nastiest, noisiest price action for a serious, I don't know if it's a serious, I don't know if you can consider it a serious project, but at least a mid-cap project with a lot of market cap. I mean, look at all the wicks. It just trades like the shittiest of shit coins, but it has so much money, right, in terms of its market cap. But you can kind of make out a type of cup and handle here, right? That would be the cup. This would be the handle. But it's essentially at resistance. It's at the neckline, like the rest of the assets that we've been looking at. Synthetics, one of my favorites. This is an inverse head and shoulders with a neckline like this. It's just slanted, okay? Or you can look at it as a cup and handle, with that being the handle, okay? But the handle in and of itself is comprised of that inverse head and shoulders, okay? And that's the neckline. You break that, you come up here, and then you make a more recognizable cup and handle. But you're at these necklines, okay? You're at these necklines. Okay, Talcoin, this should jump out at you right there. This inverse head and shoulders, okay? If you want to add that, it's a cup and handle once more. And again, the cup is comprised of this inverse head and shoulders right here. Okay, Theta token. Again, we have higher lows and a steady, more or less steady resistance. Okay, here the resistance is getting higher and higher. So slightly higher highs, but increasingly and very sharply higher lows. Okay, and that is a powder keg for explosion. Tron. That's the neckline. This is a very... Tron, I don't know if you can tell, puts in very wicky, very strong moves. Okay? So that makes it a little challenging to trade. Okay, I've been stopped out of this asset a decent amount of times because when it does move, it moves. But as it moves to the downside, it also moves to the upside. Okay? So do expect a breakout to be quite high and violent. But all I'm seeing is this. A kind of cup and handle. Yeah, I want to say that. It's not pretty, but it's something like that. I don't know. Something like that. Maybe an inverse head and shoulders. I don't know. This is the neckline in any case. Okay, V-chain. This is a cup and handle. This is unmistakable. Nice rounded bottom. That's your extremity. Okay, and you've already broken out. You're retesting the neckline. So you're coming up from that. XRP. So on a smaller time frame, you can see this. You're putting in some sort of pattern with a neckline about here, okay? And I would say that this is more likely than not an inverse head and shoulders at this point, okay? But you're at the neckline, just like every other altcoin we've seen. You're about to break out if you haven't already, okay? You're starting to break out. You're in the process of breaking out. Zilliqa. This is the cup and handle that we've been seeing, okay? You're at the neckline, about to break out. And that is it. Okay? That's it. Bitcoin's at 30,235. Do expect for us to hold on to that 30,000 level. Reason being, we've created support at previous resistance, okay? 30,000 was a tough resistance. Now we created support. It wasn't actually 30,000. It was more precisely 29.6 thereabouts. Okay, so we created that support there. Now we're headed out of that region. I don't expect for us to lose that 30K level, as I said before. It's very important that we hold it, and it's likely that we hold it because of all of that price action that went into making this resistance now strong support. So that is Bitcoin. Those are the altcoins. Guys, if you got value, please like, share, and subscribe. That's it from me. I will see you again tomorrow. And die, DXY, die. All right, take care. Bye.